the more you do in the gym, the more your muscles grow, right? Wrong. This is the single biggest myth holding busy professionals back from making their health a priority. You know that you can't commit 2 hours a day, 6 days a week in the gym, so you don't even try. But that is a self-limiting belief rooted in the following inefficient, outdated system. My name is Dominic and I run a health and fitness concierge for traveling executives. I've helped VPs, pilots, and other high-level professionals optimize their health, presence, and peak performance. In this video, I'm going to break down the exact 100-minute per week blueprint that allowed them and myself to maximize results with minimum time. And it works even when you're traveling. Let's first address the elephant in the room. Why do most people believe that they need to spend a lot of time in the gym to see great results? Well, because bodybuilders do it, and actually the science says it as well. The research says that anywhere between 10 and 20 sets per muscle group per week is most optimal. But here's what most people miss. The dose-response relationship is not linear. In other words, with more volume, the gains you make are not proportionate and at a certain point lead to diminishing returns because of recovery issues. The true goal for any busy professional is MEV. In other words, minimum effective volume. Here's the shocking truth. According to research, anywhere between 4 and 6 working sets per muscle group per week will get you between 60 and 80% of the potential muscle gains. Which is why me and my clients can work out 100 minutes a week and look absolutely insane. And this is true for even trained individuals. But here's what's cool. If you're a beginner, you could get away with even less volume. But one very important thing needs to be true. And honestly, this is where most people go wrong. And that is the principle of intensity is king. With less volume, you need to compromise with intensity. You can't be half-assing your sets. Every single set, every single working set you do needs to be taken to failure or at least very close to muscle failure. That said, taking a muscle group that close to failure can be risky with certain exercises. So make sure your technique is dialed. At Lazy Shredded, what we do when a client joins us, we actually take them through a strategic technique audit. So we monitor their technique, and based on that, they either move to phase 1, which is technique mastery, or already to phase 2, which is increasing the intensity and the volume. Now, if you're watching this, you probably don't just want to build muscle, you probably also want to lose fat. If you want to lose fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit, or at the very least, at maintenance if you want to go the body recomposition route. Now, less food lowers your recovery capacity. High volume training is much harder to recover from and could lead to burnout as well as muscle loss, which makes low volume training the more sustainable approach to maintain muscle mass while losing fat. Now, what if you're looking to go on a lean bulk? In this case, I would keep my base volume the same, as it's just way better for consistency, especially with your lifestyle. But what I would do is I would do blast training with certain muscle groups, and here's what I mean. So you keep base the same, but let's say your chest is lagging behind. You then just want to increase the volume of chest exercises, but you keep everything else the same. So as an example, you could do, let's say 6 to 8 sets in general for every muscle group, and then for the chest, you'd bring that up to between 12 and 15 sets per muscle group per week. That way you're still keeping your workout short, but you're also not interfering with recovery or your central nervous system fatiguing too quickly. Now, let's break down the routine. The 100-minute system is broken down into 5 sessions of 20 minutes each. This is scientifically backed because it maximizes training efficiency, meaning training a muscle group at least twice per week is, according to research, the best frequency. Additionally, shorter workouts are just so much easier to stick to because first of all, in your brain, it's like, okay, it's just 20 minutes, I can do that. But also, in my personal opinion, it's way more fun. Now, for some of my clients, we also implement 3 days of 30 minutes. But since my gym is just downstairs, I'd rather do more and less time. But really, 20 or 30 minutes eliminates any excuses you have on that day or in your mind. The split goes as follows. So we have day 1, which is an upper body day. Day 2, which is lower body and abs. Day 3, which is upper body day 2. Day 4 is lower body and abs again. and then day 5 is arms and shoulders. I will drop the entire routine with all the exercises down below, so make sure to check it out after the video. Now you might be wondering, how is it possible to get a complete workout in just 20 minutes? Well, I focus on 3 high leverage principles to cut my workout time pretty much in half and make the most out of it. Principle 1, focusing on compound lifts. Compound lifts are multi-joint exercises. In short, targeting multiple muscle groups at the same time. As an example, instead of doing a bicep curl, you can do a dumbbell row, which targets both the back as well as the bicep. Next, density training. I don't know why more people don't do this, but what we apply is something called antagonistic supersets. All this is combining 2 exercises, focusing on opposing muscle groups, and while the one muscle group is working, the other one is resting. If you just do this, you will cut your workout time in half. As an example, you can do a incline dumbbell chest press and combine that with a row. And finally, applying the principle of stretch-mediated hypertrophy. This is, according to research, the best way to create stimulus or more stimulus for growth. And all this means is that you want to maximize tension of the muscle in the fully lengthened position. As an example, instead of doing a conventional bicep curl, you can do a preacher curl. Because of gravity, there is now tension when the bicep is fully lengthened, making this exercise more optimal. Now here's the best part I've noticed with shorter workouts. First of all, I look forward to them, but number 2 is that I'm way more focused. I know it's just 20 minutes and I take every single set to the absolute max, and I'm just so locked in. You don't need to spend hours in the gym to see great results. It's really not about willpower. It's about having a crisis-proof system. Applying these principles worked for me and for my clients. Your health is your number 1 strategic asset that acts as a multiplier to increased energy, presence, confidence, longevity, and focus. And now you know that all it takes is a 20-minute investment 5 days a week. Time to take action. I'll drop the entire 100-minute blueprint down below. Give it a try. I'll see you in the next one.